Hey guys, today I'm here with Vrinda Norman. Vrinda Norman she's one of the most powerful marketing entrepreneurs that I ever met. She runs a business called the irresistiblemarketing.com, right, Vrinda?
Irresistiblemarketing.com.
And she runs actually a 7-figure business online, right?
Yeah.
And I brought her today so that he can explain a little bit about her journey. And she could give us some nuggets as well of how can we produce jumps in performance. Like she's a very talented and she's been, very gifted marketer. And I'm sure we have a lot to learn with her. So hi, Vrinda, how are you doing?
Hi, good.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. I know you're flying out in a couple of minutes and you make it this time. I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you.
And why did you start telling a little bit for us? How did you actually start this whole online thing? And
how did I get started?
Yeah.
Okay, well, when I was a teenager, I thought I wanted to be a journalist. I thought that was going to be the best career, most exciting career. And so I went to school, I went to college to be a journalist, and I became a journalist. I was an investigative journalist. I wrote the front page cover stories for big newspapers and wrote about political scandals and things that people were doing to the environment that were bad for the environment. And I uncovered all the bad stuff that the public should know about. And it was exciting. It was fun for a while.
Was that in the U.S.?
Yeah.
In California? Or?
Yeah, in California.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in the Silicon Valley.
In the Silicon Valley, yeah, right.
Yeah, so I was doing that. And, journalism is a lot about trying to capture the most interesting things and sharing them in a way that really compels people to read, right? So that's what I would do. And those are the skills I use now in marketing. So same skills, different area, right?
Yes.
What I started to see was that my stories weren't making a big impact. They really weren't changing the world like I thought they would. They should be, but they weren't, and it took more to change people than just those stories.
When you say they weren't changing the world, they were being read, or people weren't. How do you measure?
Sure,
that?
They were being read, but for example, this one story I wrote about a big housing complex that was going to be built and threatening the environment, and it was going to be built on toxins that would hurt the people living in the housing complex.
Yeah.
I revealed all of this, and still it got built.
Okay.
So nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
So yes, people read it, but I didn't feel it was very meaningful.
Okay.
Right? So I knew I wanted to do something more that would help more people.
Yes.
And it was hard to change that career. It was really hard. I didn't know what to do. Felt like I was already locked in. I went to school for that. So my body decided to change my life for me. And I got really sick. I got really sick because I had to have something else force me to change. And I know that my body got sick because my soul wasn't on the right path.
Why? And what did you get? What kind of
I had a serious liver illness.
Okay.
And it's a chronic illness. And I started to get so low energy. My hair was falling out. I would go home from work at night and I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I just collapsed on the couch. And then I had to drag myself off the couch to go to work again, and it just felt like no life. And so I went to my doctor, I found out what was going on, and I knew I couldn't keep living like that anymore. I couldn't just live to work and not have a life. And so I remember one day I was on my yoga mat, which is where I go to meditate. I go to get exercise and also find my truth, because I get the best ideas on my yoga mat when I'm doing yoga. And so I was on my yoga mat, and I was in the downward dog position. Do you know that position?
I don't.
It's this position. I don't know if the camera can see. It's like, you're like this.
Yeah.
So I'm like this, hanging down. And I heard this voice in my head.
What is the name of the position?
Downward dog.
Downward dog. So while you are in the downward dog position?
It's a classic position, right, in yoga. So I'm in that position, and I heard this voice in my head, and it said, Vrinda, you don't have to be a journalist anymore. Go take a medical leave and find a new career. Medical leave is you take a break from work.
Yeah.
And you find a new career. And it said that, I can hear it like it was yesterday. And the first thing I felt was relief. Like I had this big burden released from my shoulders, and I just felt like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. And then I got scared because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to support myself otherwise. But I trusted that.
Like starting from zero again.
I know. It was so scary. And I just trusted that inspiration because I didn't know any better. And so I went to go find out how to take a medical leave. And I did that. And taking that medical leave meant that I would have to give up my apartment in the city.
Yeah.
And I would have to go move in with my parents.
And what city was that?
That was in San Jose.
San Jose.
California.
Yeah.
And I had to go live in with my parents.
Yeah.
Because I was giving up my paycheck, right?
Yeah.
That was really hard. And sometimes when we want to make a big transition in life and we want to do something different, we have to take those risks and do things that scare us and sacrifice some things to simplify our life because I needed that space. So luckily, I was able to do that. You know, it was not enjoyable for me, but my parents were actually very supportive. And I spent 3 months exploring, and I found, like a few months into it, I found myself at a business seminar. And the seminar was about how to create info products.
Wow.
How to create info products. And honestly, I didn't really know what it was about when I went. I just had some friends invite me. And I said, I felt like I had to be there. And I felt like I wanted to start a business, but I didn't know what. And when I went to that seminar is when I realized that business owners need help with marketing messages. They need help with the writing.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, and I had some friends who were business owners.
You were a journalist.
I was a journalist, and they were like, wait a minute, you're a journalist. We need help with our writing for our marketing.
Yes.
So they would ask me, and I didn't know. So, you know, in business, people worry about finding their niche.
Yes.
Well, my niche found me.
Yes.
They found me, and they told me, we need you. So I said, oh, cool. There's a need. There's a way I can help people. And then I learned about the whole possibility of making info products.
Yes.
And being valued for my knowledge instead of my time.
Yes.
And that I could create a lucrative business for myself, not have to work so hard, work on my own terms at home as much or as little as I wanted to. And I didn't even know this was possible before. I didn't even know. I had no idea this even existed. And I saw it, and I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Wow. And then this is a usual question that I ask.
Yeah.
You know, and then you found that answer, what you wanted to do, or your market found you, and off you went, and from day to night exploded. Everything started to work straight from the
Didn't happen overnight.
No, it didn't happen overnight, right?
No, it didn't happen overnight.
Was it easy, or how was it?
No, some parts have been easy, but mostly it's been challenging because if it was easy, any person could just snap their fingers and start a successful business, right?
Yes.
You have to have commitment, you need to have trust in yourself, and you have to have a mentor to show you the way. And that pivotal moment for me was investing in myself to get my first mentor, my first business mentor. So at that seminar, I was offered a program, a year-long business program for $10,000.
$10,000.
Mm-hmm. And I knew I needed it because I didn't know how to start my own business. And I did not know how I was going to get $10,000. But I wanted that mentor.
Yeah.
So
it's becoming very exciting to see how it is
going. I know. So you know what I did?
No.
I went to my friend's house. It was like in the middle of the seminar. I took a lunch break and went to my friend's house. And it was a couple of my friends there. They were older too. And I thought maybe I should tell them and get their advice, you know? And we were sitting outside just like we are right now, sitting outside. And I said, I want to do this thing. I want to do this seminar. I need to do it because I need to start my business and I'm so excited, but I'm scared because I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends, she said, it's not really crazy. She said, everything you've done, everything you put your mind to, you did it. So all the things you've done, I think you can do it. And she said, now you're living with your parents, so you're not paying rent. So now's the best time.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh, she has a point.
Yes.
You know, and then my other friend, he was actually in a different conversation. He wasn't even listening to me. I was just talking to this woman. But he was guided to say the perfect thing that I needed to hear. And he just stopped in his conversation and he said, Vrinda, have you ever seen that poster? It's a Nike poster. And it's a big picture of a cliff. And there's a man climbing up the cliff, like the side of the cliff, right? And on the bottom of the poster, it says, don't let fear stop you. And that was the perfect message I needed to hear then. He didn't even know I needed to hear it, I remember my jaw just dropped.
Yes.
Like, don't let fear stop you. Okay. So I didn't let fear stop me. I said yes. I did the payment plan.
Yes.
I just put one payment on my credit card, my little credit card, and that was my first business loan.
Yes.
And I knew that I would get the money. I would just do whatever it took.
Yeah.
And when you're committed, the resources show up.
Yes.
When you're committed and you take that step in faith, the universe will show you. I say the universe, you might say God, the higher power. You trust in a power bigger than you to help you in your vision, and it shows up. The resources show up, and that was the beginning. Through that mentoring and support, I started my business. I did my first launch.
Yes.
And
like using the launch formula. Right?
I had my own launch formula at the time, combined with this mentor, and I made $35,000 in 3 months. It was like a 3-month launch plan.
Yeah.
And that was my first money that I made in my business.
Yeah.
And that
when
year,
was that?
That was in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2008, I just said, I'm going to do it. And then the next year I doubled I had made $65,000 that first year. And I had some...
$65,000. Right?
$65,000. I had a great event. I had a workshop, a 2-day workshop. It was like my launch for a live event.
Yes.
And then I had also some private coaching clients.
Yes.
And then the second year, I had more private coaching clients. I had another small event, and I did one program, like a teleseminar program. That year, I made 6 figures. So I doubled to 6 figures. And then the next year, we almost tripled to 300,000. I started growing my list more, doing more online launches.
Yes.
Bigger marketing, getting smarter, making bigger results, working less.
Yes.
Right. And then the next year we doubled to 600,000. And I started to do not only more online marketing, but I also had premium programs, like a year-long program.
With you.
Yes. Where people would work more deeply with me and invest more highly. And then I was the mentor.
You become the mentor.
I was the mentor for my clients, and they were investing $10,000 and more in my program.
Up to?
Up to $60,000.
So your biggest, your most, how to say,
my highest level?
Your highest level program today costs $60,000.
$60,000. Yeah.
Amazing. For how long?
It's a year.
Yeah. So
1 year.
Yeah. So you're now a super high profile result generator.
Yeah.
Like if you want to charge that much, you have to produce results like.
Well, I know I can charge that much because I help people get big results. And all of my clients who've ever invested at that level, they work with me privately.
Yes.
They all make their investment back.
Oh, yeah.
In a very short period of time, and then they make their investment back many times over. Like one client, she started with me making about 6 figures in her business.
Yeah.
In 1 year, we multiplied her business 6 times to 700,000 in 1 year.
And this is actually one thing that I actually speak a lot to my audience. It's about results.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I'm interviewing you right now, because a lot of people are there looking for courses or something like that. You should be looking for someone that can produce results. And when you're having such a high level program, you're selling the result.
Yeah.
And the result is just amazing. Hence, it's not a cost; it's an investment.
Yeah.
But now, that's one of the reasons I brought you here. So now, turning to a little bit about, I know you're a marketing expert, and your product's about irresistible marketing, right? Yeah. So can you give, if someone's starting from scratch right now, so they have a product, they have an idea where they want to follow through, or they want to implement, or maybe they want to be like you, like want to have, I don't know, freedom or your own business. What would be the first steps that you would recommend that they would start?
The very first steps.
Very first, yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe the very first steps is a good thing, or maybe the very first mistakes that they think that they're going to make. Maybe the very first mistake. Okay, let me rephrase the question. Be specific, Erico.
Yeah.
What is the first mistake that you think that they would do, and how would they overcome that mistake?
Well, let me think about from my own experience.
Yes.
What happened for me? The first mistake that I almost made was trying to do it on my own. Trying to do it with no guidance and just guessing.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't work. You need to get mentors and guidance, and you need to invest, even if you don't know where the money's going to come from. You need to get investment capital. And even if that scares you, going into debt, it's not about going into debt. It's about making an investment so you can make more money. And I think so many people stop themselves from that. They think they're the victim. They think, oh, poor me, I don't have money. I need a free course. If I had been given that course for free, I would not be here. It would not have had the same value to me. I would not have worked as hard to make that money back. And that is the first thing anybody needs to do. And it doesn't stop after you do it once. You keep doing it. I've never been without a mentor. I've worked with different people to grow my business at different levels, and I never stopped investing in myself. So that's number one. And then the other thing is, don't start a business just because you think there's an idea that's going to make you good money.
Okay. Why not?
Well, sometimes people think, they go into like a network marketing business, and they think they're going to sell this product, and it's a cool product. It's like jewelry or, some kind of vitamin supplement, and there's an opportunity to make money, and they want to make money, and they want to have control over their business and their lifestyle. But it's not really their personal passion to sell that product, right? And I'm just giving that an example. It might be your passion to do network marketing, but if it's not, don't do it, because that will never grow big. And you will always feel like you're working too hard for too little money if you're not following your passion. And what I mean by passion is, how are you passionate about helping people? How are you passionate about making a difference in other people's lives? What kind of people do you want to be with every day? Because you're going to be with them a lot, You have to like them. You have to like what you're doing. If you don't have that passion, you won't have the commitment. And you need commitment and passion. Passion's the fire, and commitment is the wood that feeds the fire. You need both. And if you don't have passion for what you do, it will just fizzle out. That's why so many people, they start little things and they never finish it. They start it and they never finish it. But you need that wood to keep your passion going, or else passion without commitment is just nothing will happen. You blow a lot of hot air. Yes. You just talk a lot and nothing happens. So you need both. You need to stick with it. When you're growing your business, you will have challenges. You will have obstacles. Things will happen. Sometimes things will happen that you didn't expect will happen. The only thing that gets me through those times are my passion and my commitment for what I do to help people. It's my clients. It's the clients that I'm serving, that I love serving, that it really means a lot to me to help them and make a difference in their lives. That is why I get out of bed every morning. As if it was just about the money, I would give up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I would not have gotten this far. So that's the other thing, is follow your heart and combine that with a good business plan. You have to have a good business idea that's going to be viable, that will be profitable and make you money. You need to get mentoring on that. Money is important. But the most important thing first is going in a direction that is meaningful to you and that will sustain you for many years.
Yeah, great. That's actually great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And one thing that I wanted to ask as well, your business right now, they have several, I would say every business have several leverage points.
Yeah.
Why it could be have a very good conversion, you could have been a very good lead source. And what would you reckon today if you would choose one of your leverage points that actually makes your business, or gives more impact of your business right now? What would that be, the leverage point? Would it be your partners? Would it be advertising? What actually makes your business grow so quick? I understand there's several things, but if you choose one, what would be the one thing that
most powerful strategy
that
has grown us? What comes to mind as my best expansion strategy has been my joint venture partner relationships.
Okay. Oh, very good. You get the best people in the market to promote you, to support you, to endorse you. How do you do that?
How do I do it?
How do you do that? I know. It's probably in 2 minutes, please.
Started. Well,
if you could just give some basics.
I want to speak to how I got started the very first year.
Yeah.
Because the very first year, I had a small business.
Yeah.
Right? And I, didn't have a big list, a big email list. I didn't have a way to reciprocate to a big partner. Right? So how did I get started? Well, my very first year, I had a guest speaking engagement, which was my first joint venture, where I spoke on someone else's stage and shared value, made an offer.
Yeah.
And I gave them a commission for that, right?
Yeah.
And I got on that stage because those mentors, those business teachers, had saw me grow. They saw me develop my product, and they saw my skill that was unique and needed, and it filled a gap. Where they had their offerings, they were missing what I could offer. What I could offer was I would help people create their marketing messages and write the copy for their websites. And I didn't do it for them, but I showed them how to do it, which was more empowering for them and also more scalable so I could help more people, right?
Yeah.
And so they wanted me to teach that expertise on their stage because they didn't know how to teach that.
So you found the gap.
I found a gap. And a lot of people don't know how to teach that, actually.
Yes.
They just know, maybe they can write it or maybe they don't know how to write it. But even if you can write it, not everyone knows how to teach it to others because it's kind of tricky. I make it very simple for people, but that's a unique skill I have in that area. And so I brought that unique skill to that stage, and that was the beginning of our partnership. And we are actually still partners. They are my joint venture partners to this day.
Wow.
And since I grew, I was able to promote them too.
Yes.
And last year, they were my #1 partner. Same people after 5 years.
Yes.
And I was their #1 partner.
So you were the #1 partner that sold more of their stuff.
Yeah.
Above all of them.
Yeah. I became their #1 because I had grown, right?
And you guys
we
helped
grew
each
together,
other, right?
Yeah. We helped each other and we grew together, and we were both committed to offering value and collaborating together. And that is the difference, I want to say, in marketing, in business. Sometimes people think they can't joint venture because it's competition. They don't want to help another business because it might be competition or vice versa, or they can't ask for help. There's a new paradigm in business, which is about helping each other, because the more we help each other, the more we all grow together. We lift each other up, and that's collaboration.
Nice.
It's a complement, not a competition.
Nice. Vrinda, thank you very much for your wisdom.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. And, have good luck and hope to see you in another time.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye. High five.